My fellow countrymen, and in particular, the good people of River State, I am happy to address you today on the state of emergency declaration in River State. You will recall that on the 18th of March 2025, I proclaimed the state of emergency in the state. In my proclamation address, I highlighted the reasons for the declaration. The summary of it, for context, is that there was a total paralysis of governance in River State, which had led to the governor of River State and the House of Assembly being unable to work together. Critical economic assets of the state, including oil pipelines, were being vandalized. The State House of Assembly was crisis-ridden, such that members of the House were divided into two groups. 4 members worked with the governor, while 27 members opposed the governor. The latter group supported the speaker. As a result, the governor could not present any appropriation bill to the House to enable him to access funds to run River State's affairs. That serious constitutional impasse brought governance in the state to a standstill. Even the Supreme Court, in one of its judgments, in a series of cases filed by the executive and the legislative arms of River State against each other, held that there was no government in River State. My intervention and that of other well-meaning Nigerians to resolve the conflict proved abortive, as both sides stuck rigidly to their positions to the detriment of peace and development of the state. It therefore became painfully inevitable that to arrest the drift towards anarchy in River State, I was obliged to invoke the powers conferred on me by Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, to proclaim the state of emergency. The offices of the governor, deputy governor, and elected members of the State House of Assembly were suspended for 6 months in the first instance. The 6 months expire today, September 17th, 2025. I thank the National Assembly, which, after critically evaluating the justification for the proclamation, took steps immediately, as required by the Constitution, to approve the declaration in the interest of peace and order in River State. I also thank our traditional rulers and the good people of River State for their support from the date of the declaration of the state of emergency until now. I am not unaware that there were a few voices of dissent against the proclamation, which led to their instituting over 40 cases in the court in Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Guinea to invalidate the declaration. That is the way it should be in a democratic setting. Some cases are still pending in courts as of today. But what needs to be said is that the power to declare a state of emergency is an inbuilt constitutional tool to address situations of actual or threatened breakdown of public order and public safety, which require extraordinary measures to return the state to peace, order, and security. Considered objectively, we had reached that situation of total breakdown of public order and public safety in River State, as shown in the judgment of the Supreme Court on the dispute between the executive and the legislative arm of River State. It would have been a colossal failure on my part as president not to have made that proclamation. As a stakeholder in the democratic governance, I believe that the need for a harmonious existence and relationship between the executive and the legislature is key to a successful government, whether at the state or national level. The people who voted us into power expect to reap the fruits of democracy. However, the expectations will remain unrealized in an atmosphere of violence, anarchy, and insecurity born by misguided political activism and Machiavellian manipulations among the stakeholders. I am happy today, from the intelligence available to me, there is groundswell of a new spirit of understanding, a robust readiness, and potent enthusiasm on the part of all stakeholders in River State for an immediate return to the democratic governance. This is undoubtedly a welcome development for me and a remarkable achievement for us. I therefore do not see why the state of emergency should exist a day longer than the 6 months I had pronounced at the beginning of it. It therefore gives me great pleasure to declare that the emergency in River State of Nigeria shall end with effect from midnight today. The governor, His Excellency Fubara, The Deputy Governor, Her Excellency Ngozi Maudu, and members of the River State House of Assembly and Speaker Martins Amewule will resume work in their offices from 18th of September 2025. I take this opportunity to remind the governors and the houses of assembly of all the states of our country to continue to appreciate that it is only in an atmosphere of peace, order, and good government that we can deliver the dividends of democracy to our people. I implore all of you to let this realization drive your actions at all times. I thank you all. In other words, the state of emergency in River State has been lifted with immediate effect. So, what if that guy anyway come from another state, come be governor? You back and take a bus. How far? You don't collect the one you want to collect. I just answer you. Have you collected your share or your pack? Let the original collectors take charge. Nigeria. Maybe I change the name of this our democracy. So you know what this state of emergency did? It helped them to remove the local government chairman. You see, if you are the governor of a state, you are not powerful without your House of Assembly and your local government chairman. Once you have these two set of people behind you, you're good to go. In River State, Fubara has lost 80% of the House of Assembly and only 4 people decide. So he wanted to hold the local government, and he did. He do your election, put people we want to put there. But Wike also is interested in that local government. So you know what they have done? They declared a state of emergency, made sure that Fubara does not have the House of Assembly, which he doesn't have before, and we ran the state house local government elections. How you go do local government election? APC go win past PDP will be governing party. So Fubara no get House of Assembly, he not get local government chairman. So what is going to be now is a puppet. Do you know what Fubara wants to do? Make it finish in 4 years. Make them no impeach him. Make it daily cutting and be the governor. So that he go collect the entitlement. You know, as a former governor of a state, the state pays your healthcare for life, pays you for life, give you house where you want, give you security, your house help, your clean house, the state pays. But if they impeach you, hey, wait. Now if Fubara don't look and say, oh, I collect that one. May they carry their states. I'll be expecting Fubara to come to the APC anytime soon. And I will not be expecting Fubara to run for second term. Unless he stays in good books with Wiki. But it's painful. The democracy we all thought was being gifted to Nigeria. They just use democracy card on take over and now not that thing. Now they inside. This is not democracy.